Hey guys, Mrhappy here with a second video for the day. I don't think I've done 2 videos in a day in a while, but something happened and I totally missed out on it while I was making my Gamescom Part 1 video. It's Part 1 now, well this is Part 2. And it's actually that there was another interview with Yoshi-P. This one actually in English with a translator there and with the video and everything. And it was a great interview. It was only maybe 8 or 9 questions of this over the span of about 40 minutes. And there were some questions there that we've kind of heard before and not really much to update. Questions about the PlayStation 4 development and some of the lore. Nothing crazy that we didn't already know, but there was some interesting information about the game going forward and the content that they have planned. So the first notable thing was that Bahamut will be harder than the Crystal Tower. Now, Bahamut is an 8-man raid, and Crystal Tower's a 24-man raid. This actually raises quite an interesting point because a lot of people in other games tend to think that smaller raids are harder because you have less people to work with, while people who run raids tend to feel that 24 or 12 large-scale raids are harder because you have more people to deal with and there's more places for you to have a problem. If one person messes up, it's affecting a lot more people, and you have more people who could potentially mess up. So that's an interesting thing because not only does he say that Bahamut will be harder than the Crystal Tower, and Crystal Tower is not even out yet, but he also expects less than 100 people to defeat Bahamut, or at least the coilings of Bahamut, if he's even in the dungeon, before patch 2.1. Now that's a bold statement. That's a very bold statement. And if it holds true, that would mean we haven't seen a scale like that. Less than 100 people. Let's say even only 100,000 people are playing. That's less than 1% of the community beating Bahamut before patch 2.1. We haven't seen numbers like that since, I guess, Vanilla WoW, I guess, other than maybe Final Fantasy XI with Absolute Virtue and Pandemonium Warden, that we haven't seen those kind of numbers in a long time. So for those of you out there looking for a challenge, if he has that high of an expectation, you might just get what you want. Also, he spoke about patch 2.1 and the plans that they have for it, and there was a lot of things in here that was surprising. Now, these are the exact words, but we don't know exactly what he means by them. He says patch 2.1 they have the following plan that he can at least talk about. 1 new dungeon, 1 brand new dungeon. Now, when he says dungeon, we're assuming he means an 8-man raid, but he still refers to them as dungeons for one reason or another, probably because a lot of people tend to think of raids as being very large scale, and 8-mans aren't, well, large scale. He also said there'll be 2 new hard mode dungeons. Again, we're assuming that he means that he's gonna, this could actually be he's taking one of the low level ones and making it level 50, but they have their own plans for hard mode dungeons in a way that they don't want them to be the same design and bosses, so that may be why there's only going to be 2 of them. He said Wolf's Den, which is PvP by the way, will be available. The housing system they're planning to have available. Daily quests at level 50 they're having to have available. The Crystal Tower, they said they are planning it for 2.1. The Good King Moggle the 12th, and Extreme Mode Primals. Now, this was interesting. He said a lot more Extreme Mode Primals, but as far as we knew, Extreme Mode Primals were going to be in the game at launch, because they're supposed to be a big part of the Relic Quest, or at least Ifrit Extreme is going to be. So does this mean that only Ifrit Extreme is going to be available at launch as part of the Relic Quest, and that Garuda and Titan will come later, and that maybe Good King Moggle, though he's officially been deemed not a Primal, may have an Extreme Mode? There's so many different ways to interpret that. In fact, it's interesting because the woman went to say Extreme Mode Ifrit, and Yoshi-P was like, no, I didn't say that. Extreme Mode, more Extreme Mode Primals is what I said. So who knows? I guess we'll find out after patch 2.1. And then finally, he said that there's a piece of content he can't reveal, so I'll keep you guys updated on that later. I know I'm zooming into the camera. It's because I'm excited. And then there were 2 other really important notes that I think stood out amongst most of the other questions. Like one question was about Yoshi-P, if he would ever implement himself into the game, and he said he would prefer not to do that. But 2 other things is future applications. As you may or may not know, Libre Eorzea is an application that will be coming to the iPhone and Android devices within the first month, with iOS version coming first and the Android version coming later, and that future apps may have unique features such as in-game access to things, maybe your retainers, maybe the market boards, being able to sell an item or spend your gil in some way. So he says if those do come out, they'll probably come out with a premium, unlike Libre Eorzea, meaning they'll probably cost a few bucks on the Android store or the iOS store. And the final thing that I really want to talk about is Yoshi-P actually revealed to us if he had to pick a job with no balance included, what job would he enter into the game? And he said Red Mage. And I know a lot of you Final Fantasy XI players out there are saying, yes, Yoshi-P finally gets me. And some people will be surprised he didn't say Samurai or Dark Knight, but he said Red Mage. But he said it had a very unique feel, even back in the older Final Fantasies. You know, every class, he said, had sort of a designated role, and every job sort of, you knew what their purpose was. And Red Mage had sort of this unique, sort of all-purpose way of working, and that he found it really awesome. But he said that's no indication of them going to add it, that they're going to add it as the next job. Just that if he had to pick one job and without any balancing to think about, that is the job he would pick. I just thought I'd throw this video out there really quick so you guys could get a little bit more of your Final Fantasy fix. Go check out the interviews. Actually, it's about 40 minutes, and a lot of it is just the process of being translated, the questions and the answers. So be sure to check out the videos. They're in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. And share your comments. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Also Twitch if you're going to be wanting to watch some Final Fantasy XIV live streaming, just to hang out while we play and whatever not. It's just going to be a fun little place for us to gather and talk about the game. Also, if you like to donate to charity, Save the Children Foundation, there's a link in the description below to donate to them. If you need more details, feel free to send me a message. Anyway, guys, now I promise, now I won't see you again until early access. So until next time, take care.